Hey everyone, today we're in Florida and we're gonna go camping in the Everglades. The traffic is actually very light and you see the majority of people are over on the other side of the highway going north, trying to get out of here for the hurricane that's about to come ashore. The rain is supposed to be very heavy today as the hurricane comes through. While most people on the other side of the highway are going north, we're going south, because the Everglades aren't supposed to be affected at all by this hurricane. So we're going to go down there, and I'm assuming because of this hurricane there'll probably be very few people there. So the Everglades requires you to pull a permit to go camping there. So today we're going to stop by the Flamingo building, which closed at 5. We're going to try to get that permit for the following day, and that'll give us some time to get our supplies sorted out. I plan on going for a 6-mile hike into the Florida wilderness to go camping. This rain's getting strong. I love driving in this kind of weather. I hope we get to see a bit of a storm. The rain is just about stopped and it's supposedly sunny where we're going. I like how all the traffic lights in Florida are sideways, up against the poles, so they don't have as much drag during a hurricane. All the poles around here are also much stronger. I love looking at the infrastructure down here too for water management. Everything is beefed up, all the pipes are huge to handle the water. There's detention ponds everywhere, places that can flood and stay flooded to hold that water for a while. Very interesting down here. It should be sunny where we're going. I'm liking this. The roads are pretty dead. Since a hurricane might come through here, the majority of people left from this area. This is cool. Panther crossing. Alright, we are out of the cities. Now the majority of the ride is nothing but very rural swampland. We will be kind of close to Miami later, but we don't have much more city to go through. Now this area, the speed limit's 60, but at night it's only 45 because they really want to protect their endangered panthers. So the Everglades can be a dangerous place. Venomous spiders, venomous snakes, alligators, panthers, bears, all kinds of things like that. This area here doesn't really have any trees. It's just a bunch of bushes and wide open grasslands. This road for the past hour, I can't say it's more than a couple feet above the water level. That's how it all is. The Everglades only has an elevation of a few feet on average above sea level. Look at the size of those culverts they're about to put in there. They're raising the road up a lot here. A lot of levees in this area, grasslands. Right here, we'll have a pretty good view. Yep, the sun came out. It's actually getting quite hot out right now. It's about 85 degrees and just a couple 100 miles north it's pouring rain and windy. Got some dogs in the road. Entering Everglades National Park. Alright everyone, here we come up to the toll plaza, which helps maintain the park. You can ask here where exactly we get the pass. Alright everyone, we just made it into the park, surrounded by lots of beautiful grasslands. Hopefully we see some wildlife while we're here. And the majority of the roads in the park are only 2 or 3 feet above sea level, which is cool. So my plan today is to go to the Flamingo Visitor Center and try to get a camping pass for tomorrow night. We're not going to do it tonight. It's already too late in the day for a 6-mile hike to a very remote camping area. So tonight we'll go into town, gather some last-minute supplies, and we'll come back tomorrow morning at the crack of dawn to start hiking. And that's the reason why I want to try to get it today, because I'm not sure that they're open at the crack of dawn, the visitor center, tomorrow. So getting it today might get me out there faster tomorrow. Look at that, everyone. There's a big alligator over there on the side of the road. It's good size, too. Maybe 5 feet or so. Alright, everyone, here we are at the Flamingo Visitor Center, and somewhere here we're gonna get a pass. It's amazing, the parking lots are empty this time of year. The last time I was down here was in March, and I guess that's when all the snowbird tourists are down here. All the people that avoid winter and come down here aren't here yet, it seems. Also, that hurricane up north might be preventing a lot of people from being here. Seems like a lot of people are leaving the state at the moment. Alright, gonna park here and go in. Look how beautiful the Spanish moss is hanging from all these trees. I love it. Alright, everyone. Just got a permit for tomorrow night, so I'll head back to town and get any extra supplies I think I might need. So it's about a 6-mile trail. The guy warned me of a few things. He warned me that, this week's gonna be really cold, right? He means at night. And at night it's gonna be down to about 50 degrees, 10 degrees Celsius, which to me, living up north, that's not cold at all. That's perfect for camping. During the days, it'll still be in the mid-80s. Right now, it's very, very humid. I can't believe it. It feels like we're in a sauna right now. It's so humid here. And he also warned me about the trail is very flooded. I told him I got waders. I expected that. He said parts of the trail could be up to knee deep. The majority of it's ankle deep. He said that nobody's used the trail this year. He said I'm the first one to pull the permit since it was severely flooded during some hurricane. So, wonder what we'll find out there. Yeah, the majority of people to use these campsites, like where I'm going, is called Clubhouse Beach. Most people do it by boat. Not many people walk. And I don't know why. The worst part being maybe knee deep. That's not even that bad. All right, now we're gonna go over to where the trail starts so we know exactly what to do in the morning when we arrive. And they don't give physical permits anymore, so the guy had to walk me through it on the computer, and it's not free either. It costs $27 after taxes for the one night out. And it appears no one else is camping out there either, even by boat. There's no other permits pulled at the moment, so we'll have it to ourselves. This place is dead this time of year. The last time I was here, that visitor center was so packed with people you could barely walk around. This time there was like one other group in there of a couple people. This place is dead. I wonder when we go down here to the RV park we're about to drive through if there's even anyone there. I'm curious. So if that trail does have water that's that deep, that's kind of scary. If the water's like a foot deep, there could be alligators hiding right below the surface. So we'll have to be careful of that. And I had to put a couple emergency contacts in case I don't come back out, they said. Because there are some very dangerous things that could be along this 6-mile trail. Although the trail's supposed to be flat, there's not really hills or anything around here, so that's one plus. But I bet we'll see some beautiful scenery. Tomorrow's going to be a lot sunnier than today. Rest of the week is dry, but very cool at night for Florida standards. Alright, I just pulled up to another window there, and you have to stop and talk to someone before you enter the campground. Look at this. I don't see a single other person camping. These are all campsites where you can pitch a tent or park a camper. Not Not a single other person. Back in March, when most people are avoiding winter coming down here, this place was packed. Not a single person. Okay, parking lot B and C. This is where we'll be parking, back in here somewhere. I'm trying to work all this out so it's super easy in the morning. He said, do not park on the grass. So right here is B. And it doesn't look like much of parking. It looks like overgrown driveways. This looks like this used to be more camping areas, but I guess not enough people go camping here even during the highlight of the year. That's what I'm thinking. This looks like an abandoned section of campground. My Google Maps says I still have another minute to drive, and it's showing every one of these little paved areas as open roads. So yeah, this campground used to be twice as big, but I guess not enough people use it, so they don't even mow it anymore. It's just completely overgrown. So what kind of parking lot are we gonna have up here? All right, here's the trail. There's the trail that we're gonna start. Ooh, that looks eerie and creepy. Yeah, looks. I can already see water you might have to go through. So where do you park? I guess you can park in any of these paved spots like this. I'm assuming, because there's no parking lot like I assumed. He said, don't park on the grass. So I'm assuming you would park just like this. I want to get out and have a look. All right, I got Crocs and stuff on right now, but tomorrow I'm going to be wearing my waders the entire walk. I always wear waders when I'm hiking in Florida or the South, just in case of a snake. It might help me out. So what do we got here? Trail is open but might be overgrown with vegetation. So yeah, it's at your own risk. Six-mile one way, 9.6 kilometers. That raven is very angry. Doesn't like me here. So, this looks beautiful. This Spanish moss is just fantastic. Wow. This kind of looks like a spot where an ATV's been driving through. Maybe that's how park rangers get around this gate that doesn't look like it's been open in forever. And I'm pretty sure what I'm seeing here is sea level, just 2 feet below where I'm standing. The trail looks pretty decent. Can't wait to see what it has in store for us tomorrow. That raven is following me around. He's coming closer to me. Look at this. Maybe this raven gets fed by campers, and that's what he's thinking I might have. So this right here, I'm thinking, is how you get in with canoes, maybe. Maybe. Spanish moss is very pretty, though. This is very interesting in itself. Just like the well-maintained area, all these spots here where I'm parked, this all used to be campground, but it looks like more than half of it they've abandoned because people just don't come here anymore to their campground. And I don't know why. They have so many beautiful boardwalk trails, so many beautiful trails around the park, including this beautiful hike here. All right, so we're gonna head out of here and we're gonna head back to town. That gives me an entire night to figure out what kind of supplies I wanna bring, what kind of food. They recommend a gallon of water per day I'm out, and I'm not gonna be out there 2 days, just one night. So I'm gonna bring a good gallon and a half at least, a whole bunch of water bottles and other drinks, maybe some MREs for food. But I'm gonna go ahead tonight. We're gonna park at Walmart. That's what I've been doing the past week since I've been in Florida, and it's been some miserable nights, some decent nights, but tonight and for the foreseeable future, every night in Florida is in the 50s, which is awesome. That means I'm gonna start sleeping really good. And right now it's pretty hot and humid, and it's supposed to be like that during the day tomorrow. And it's gonna be hard having a backpack with maybe 50, 60 pounds of gear and waders. I'm gonna be sweaty. But hopefully the beach is decent enough that I can actually get in the water. That would be awesome to go swimming there. They said I can make campfires. I'm not allowed to cut anything, just stuff that's laying on the ground. They said there's probably gonna be a lot of driftwood for me to burn, and you can only have fires below the high tide line. I just had something on me, and it's very itchy. Didn't really hurt, but I'm very itchy now. I think I got a fire ant. I think I got a fire ant on me. All right, everyone. Right now we're at Walmart where we're gonna sleep for the night, and there is a security guard over there. Typically the rule is if there's a security guard, you're probably in a spot they don't want you sleeping, because that usually means high crime if they have a security guard. But we're gonna try it. If we get kicked out, we get kicked out. Whatever, we'll have to drive somewhere else, but we'll see. So I'm gonna bring a hoodie instead of a blanket. The only blanket I have is kind of bulky, so I'll just wear this at night if I need it. 50 degrees is not that cold. I'm bringing 2 MREs for food. I have a few snacks that I just found inside the vehicle that I'll pack up, and found bug spray. Now I don't have to buy that. An energy drink just in case I don't sleep well. That'll be for the ride back, the walk back. Carry a machete, carry bear spray on my belt, and emergency flares. These also are very good at helping create a fire if it's damp. Of course, some lighters and some protein shakes in there, and power banks, a thermometer, sunscreen, waterproof phone case, and that's empty. We can put something there. And here is a one-man tent I have yet to ever set up. Right here is a sleeping pad. So we're packing pretty light because it's so hot. We don't need to bring a lot, and it looks like we can set up on the sand or at least on grass, so we don't need much of padding. Well, that's what that's for. That's compact, and I don't need to have a big roll-up pad like I typically have. So this is the night before prepping. We're gonna go into the store now, look for a few good snacks, but this is basically all we need for that trip. All right, everyone, pulled this out. We obviously don't need that in Florida. That's from one of the colder camping trips. That will be on my belt, and I think I'm gonna bring the saw just for the heck of it in case we need that to cut up some driftwood, although I usually just cut driftwood in half with the fire itself, but that might help get it going. I think I'm gonna wear these because it's gonna be so sweaty. It's so hot and humid down here. I gotta walk out there a couple hours in tall, sweaty, waterproof waders. So I think I'm gonna attach the Crocs with this right here. They're pretty light, and then I can walk around at the campsite with just those, and the beach if it's nice. I don't know if it's gonna be a muddy beach or a beautiful sandy beach. We're gonna find out. And this parking lot stinks. I don't know what it is. It smells like raw sewage here. It's nasty. I think Florida's water has a lot of sulfur in it. When the sprinklers turn on in places like this, the whole area smells like a big fart. Also, a lot of fast food places will have soda machines that use concentrate, and they add the city water. Well, I just can't bear to drink this. It smells like a fart when I open it because of the water they use to mix in with the Sprite. It's disgusting. All right, we gotta go buy some bottled water to fill up the pack, and throwing out some garbage. And down in the south, something that's really convenient for washing up at night, all the southern Walmarts have sinks in the toilet stalls, so you have a private spot to wash up your face when you're car camping, and also a nice private place to brush your teeth, and people won't stare at you at the counter like a weirdo in there. I don't know why they don't have a setup like that in northern Walmarts. Down here the Walmarts seem very clean. People seem more behaved. I haven't seen any vandalism in the Florida Walmarts like you see up north, and that's probably why. Good morning, everyone. Sun just came up. We're about to get on the road, nice and early. Take a look at this section of forest. You can tell there was a forest fire there. It happened last year. I remember seeing all the grass here burnt, but after the summer it grew back pretty nice and the trees aren't even dead. All right, we're back in the park and we have about a 40-minute drive until we park and start walking. Nice, bright and early. Today is going to be a lot colder than yesterday, but the sun is out, the sun is full. There's supposed to be very high UV today, so need a little bit of sunscreen out here. This is the kind of sun that can give you a pretty bad sunburn in just a couple of hours. All right, we're into the abandoned campground again. This place is pretty interesting. Look at this. We'll take one of the abandoned roads where all the campsites used to be. Look at this. All overgrown. It's very interesting. Look at this. So overgrown. Pretty cool. Can we go through? Oh, boom! Had to run over a couple little trees there. That's interesting. There's even an abandoned bathroom out here. Yeah, this one right here. I think, yeah, look at this. Not enough campers come out here anymore. So, good portion of the campground is abandoned. Look at this. Even got the abandoned bathroom right here. We're about to start the trail. My backpack is extremely heavy. A lot heavier than the time we went camping at the prison. I have so much water, got some food, and I think we're ready to head on out. Yeah, it's definitely cooler today, but the humidity is oppressive. It's gonna be a killer today on this trail. All right, only a minute into the trail and this backpack's heavy. There's a whole bunch of little lizards everywhere, scattering off to the sides, the little anoles. Hopefully we see some good wildlife. Hopefully we don't get too close to an alligator. We'll see. So far this trail looks like it's in awesome condition. Oh my gosh, look at all the birds. Woo! So those are what you call white American ibis. The ones that are at the parking lots like seagulls are really friendly. I even hand-fed some this week. I had to put bug spray on. The mosquitoes are already a problem. And there's some other kind of creature on me that's not mosquitoes. There's these black flies that are already biting my arms everywhere. Here's a close-up shot. A little anole. Yeah, these lizards are scattering everywhere. There's hundreds of them. Ouch. I think they are mosquitoes. The mosquitoes down here are just fat and black. There is evidence everywhere of current and water through this entire forest. This place goes really deep underwater during hurricanes. I can see the evidence, and I really hope that we get to a sunny area. Although it's going to be hot and sweaty, it'll keep these mosquitoes away. My repellent isn't seeming to work very well with these ones. All right, we're getting some puddles on the trail now. We come out into this wide open plain. Oh my gosh, look how many flies there are. So it's like sandy mud. Yep, we have reached the flooded areas. Only a couple minutes down the trail. Right now the water's about ankle deep. But it looks like a big hole coming up. Wow, such wide open area. Nice. Look at all that mud we're stirring up. This mud's also very slippery. So this trail now is supposedly unmarked. I don't think we'll have a problem following it. Oh, look at that. Wow, a very aggressive crab. You see it holding up its claws? Very aggressive crab right there. So I'm guessing this is salt water. Yep, tasted it. So I don't think we have to worry about alligators. I don't think they'll want to be in here. Oh, another very angry crab. Look at that. Look how it's putting its claws up. We're gonna have a lot of angry crabs on this trail. Now I'm sure everyone saw there was other footprints back there in the mud, but at this point, nothing. It looks like everyone's turned around except for, if we zoom in, there was a duck. Oh, there's another crab too. Oh wow, look at the size of that crab. That one's massive. Can you see that? That thing's huge. Don't want to get pinched by that one. Finally back on dry land. This mud is really slippery too. Thankfully there's no mosquitoes out here. There's a perfect breeze. And I'm from up north, so this feels hot to me. And everyone's telling me it's gonna be super cold out here tonight. I don't think 50 degrees is cold. I'm loving it. That's why I chose the Everglades this week. I don't know if you can see it in the water, but there's little fish in here. Oh, look at a crab too. That one's only got one pincher. So the trail now has a steady little bit of water. We're walking at exactly sea level, that's why. The trail's getting more narrow, but it's good to walk on the plants because the mud is so slippery. This is so beautiful. Everything is just green vegetation and floods. You're not gonna find a workout better than this. Right now I'm walking in really thick mud. It feels like I'm walking through peanut butter. This is such a good workout. We're finally starting to experience the water that's nearly up to your knees. And it's so hard to walk. The mud is like glue. And you can't take any breaks. There's nowhere really to put your backpack down where it won't get wet. I guess maybe I could put it on top of that and hope it doesn't sink down to the water. Just look, there's ponds, open bodies of water, birds. And because this water is like salty, I'm wondering if there could be crocodiles in here instead of alligators. I assume it's a possibility. I can see the ocean over there through those trees. Myself personally, I like these type of trails better than dry ones because flat trails are kind of boring, but this adds excitement. I'm seeing so many crabs. The majority of them are very angry and they come right up to me with their pinchers ready to go. They want to get me. And if you can see in the water, there's also hundreds of fish in here. The wildlife is abundant. There's a lot of birds. It looks like we have a fork right here. We're going straight, but it looks like there's a loop. Wait a second. We're supposed to stay on coastal prairie, so I think we're the ones turning. Yes, we are. To the left is another campground, but it's a close by one. We want to go to the one that's 6 miles away, so the trail looks like it's going to get a bit worse. Maybe this was a sign saying it was closed. There was something here. All right. What do you think these tracks are from? Coyotes, maybe? There's a bunch of them. You can still see that sign way down there. I just went off to the side. This looks like it used to be a road back in the day, I'm assuming, before it got washed away in a storm. Let's just look at that. You can tell it looks like a road. And the trail now is getting more narrow. My shoulders are starting to hurt. Probably got a good 60 pounds on my sack, probably a little more. I tend to underestimate, I guess. I learned that when I carried that big rock back and we weighed it. Turned out to be 110 pounds when I assumed it was 60. This is the most flooded area we've come across. We're about to go through a nice area with skeleton forest. Then it looks like maybe we'll get into a wooded area. Yeah, there's a bunch of dead trees here because the water got deeper than when they originally grew. Stirring up a lot of mud. Oh, what is this? What's that? What's this string going all the way back there? Come on. Oh, the straps on my big high boots. Oh, come on. Reeling in a fishing line, and it just keeps coming. I still don't see the end of it. All right, there we go. I gotta get something to drink. My shoulders and neck are killing me right now. Whoa. Oh. Come on, banana. I gotta drink something. Put all the weight on my waist. My whole back is wet, and people in Florida say that this weather's cold to them, it being about 70 out. It's very oppressive humidity though. Look at all this nasty slime. It's covered in flies. Look at that. Ooh. Back to a barely noticeable trail. So I got some good water out there. Some mangrove trees. Right here there's a grassy island which looks like it's steady land. It looks like some animal's been laying there. There's a flattened spot. Now right here, the trail's kind of shaped like a V. You put your feet anywhere except right in the middle, it tries to knock you down. Right here, this is also, keeps on tripping me. Mud is like peanut butter, so this is a very demanding hike, despite it being flat land. All right, now we're close to some very deep water. I'm hoping now that we get a little bit of shade. It looks like we're going in here to the skeleton forest. A bunch of dead mangrove trees. Still very slippery, and these vines are a tripping hazard. I'm already getting very, very tired, and we're only about 1/3 of the way in. I'm hoping for some shade. Even with sunscreen on, I can see myself turning red, and it's starting to burn. The UV down here is very strong. And we got the moon starting to come out. See it up there? Really interesting plants. Right now we're walking through this nice coastal forest, which is basically what protects all the swamps during storms. The trail is becoming now pretty hard to follow. Going through a lot of spider webs. Hopefully, ouch, nothing venomous. Forgetting how big my backpack is going underneath things. But we're going through some nice shade now. That's nice. Alright, I just took another break. Looked at the map. So I was wondering, are we supposed to still be walking out in that water? No, I'm actually right on the trail, so this is the trail. It's just not much left. This is the trail conditions. Lots of obstacles in the way. I gotta get over, get under. What's walking all over the ground? Some kind of bug all over the ground. See them down there? They look like crickets and a roly-poly mixed together. I'm not sure what they're called. From here, I can tell this area floods. But we're finally to a dry area, and just looking at the map, I think we're gonna be dry for most of this walk going on, but overgrown. So it's either this, nice and dry with some mosquitoes, or wet and very sunny and sweaty. Some kind of animal's been digging. Okay, the mosquitoes are not that bad in this section. This whole trail, become the wet part of the year, appears it would be underwater. This whole area shows flooding evidence. These part of the trails are kind of a pain in the butt. This tree probably got pushed over by a hurricane. And I gotta crawl underneath these branches, which is a lot more difficult when you're carrying a lot of weight. There's a bunch of spiders out here. I don't know if they're dangerous or not, so I just keep grabbing sticks and knocking their webs down. They're bright red spiders and they're tiny, but they make a giant web. I don't know what they are. Got some cactuses over here. Wouldn't want to fall on that. Look how big those prickers are. This area is beautiful. Kind of shady. Nice ocean breeze. Cool temperatures today. And look at the ground I'm walking on here. Maybe someone can tell me what these bugs are as I walk. See that? There's hundreds of these little black bugs all over the ground. And it's been like that the entire walk. I'm assuming that's what the lizards are eating. I keep seeing lizards everywhere scurrying. Lots of birds. So I'm seeing a good ecosystem. Lizards are eating these little bugs. The birds are after the lizards. I'm finding more holes. I'm assuming that was maybe a crab. Crabs dig holes. And they usually run to that hole when they get scared. Another low clearance. This part of the trail is pretty good, but I'm starting to drag my feet. I can tell I'm slowing down. Very heavy backpack, but I think I brought like at least 16 bottles of water, and I better start drinking them, then I'll be a lot lighter coming back. Got another nice cactus over there. Trail is flooded again as we go through the trees. The mosquitoes are back. Not that bad, but yeah, there are a few that I have to keep killing. They keep landing on my arms. Another one. Plowing through a few more spider webs. It's getting wet again. It looks like we're opening up again into another swamp. Trees are starting to go away. This trail must be unbearable at night. What I'm noticing now in the water, thousands and thousands of saltwater mosquito larvae everywhere. Oh my gosh, look at them all. Can I zoom in on that? Can't see the screen. Can you see that? They seem to huddle together in just masses of thousands of them. Now the trail is going through some thick bushes. Hopefully there's no bad spiders in here. Remember, even the venomous spiders will try to avoid you at all costs. But if it's on you, somehow getting crushed between your clothing and you, it's gonna bite you. Oh. This is getting bad. Okay, it's A little better now. Now on the way back, am I gonna remember that? Because this also looks like a trail. I'm starting to struggle with this mud and all these vines that'll trip you. You have to march over it, which is consuming a lot of energy. It's also extremely humid, and this mud smells like a fart. So this is how I've been taking breaks out here, like this, because my legs don't hurt. It's my shoulders, neck, and the back of my head that hurts from all this weight. About to finish up the first water bottle. And we're only about halfway in. That looks really cool. So it took me 2 hours to get not even halfway. Look at that. A little snail. Okay, we're to another skeleton forest. Water's getting pretty deep in the trail again. Almost up to my knees. Mud is very slippery. I'm waiting for a dry spot so I can hopefully take a break. Alright, I gotta take a break. I'm stumbling around. I'm exhausted. Oh, good. Can't put stuff down anywhere. There's water everywhere. I gotta put more sunscreen on. I feel like I'm burning out here in the sun. And I gotta have some more water. And see how far along we are. First time having all that weight off my shoulders in 2 hours. I feel like there's less gravity. I feel so light now. And I got some pain right here in my arm. I'm assuming it's from all that weight pushing on me the wrong way. I'm trying to stretch, but I got this weird pain in my arms like I did a super workout. Yeah, I'm gonna have cramps later. I'm trying to stretch a little right now before we continue. Okay, let's continue. All right, the water got pretty deep again. I'm not gonna lie, I'm starting to struggle out here. My legs are starting to feel like jello walking through sticky mud with all this weight. Can you see the amount of fish in the water? There's a whole school of little fish. The land out here is so flat that the water's just even. There's like not even the smallest elevation out here. I've never hiked through a spot that's just so flat. Seagulls and stuff out here making noises. Kind of sounds like human voices from a distance. Still nothing but vines that are trying to trip me, and treading through water and sticky mud is exhausting. I am only about halfway there, and it took the time to get halfway that I figured for the whole trip, because I didn't realize it was going to be so sticky. This is by far the most demanding hike I've ever done because there's a lot of factors to it. This is shaped like a U, the trail. You have to walk right in the center, or just like a slippery culvert pipe, it's gonna try knocking you over. I haven't fallen yet, but I'm getting very weak and shaky. I'm getting more splashy too. I'm starting to splash up on myself. I feel it, I'm getting really weak. I'll try to take a good break once I get 3/4 of the way. So this has turned into maybe a 4 or 5 hour hike now. When you're stumbling and running out of energy, this is just the worst right here. Having a duck low under these trees and getting stuck too. Oh, come on. And slippery mud too. This is really pretty. The plants growing in the dead trees. And the water here is still about 10 inches or so. I found a nice shady area. I'm sitting in this dead tree. These trees are a lot stronger than they look. I hung my stuff up over there. I'm gonna have this whole bottle of water. Yeah, I'm only about exactly halfway. And looking at the map is showing every tree here that's all dead of being alive. So I assumed this was gonna be like a bit of a forest area, but yeah, so far 90% of the trail is under half a foot of water. Some spots nearly 2 feet, mostly not, mostly about a half a foot. But it's very oppressive humidity and kind of warm. I still have a signal. Let me check the actual temperature. We got another friend up there. I wonder if this guy's ever seen a human before. Because I was just zoomed in 10 times and now I'm zoomed in 1 time and he still hasn't flown away. There we go. Flying away. Awesome. The water's starting to get shallow. You don't know how much of an improvement that is from treading 10 inches of water for the past 20 minutes. But here we go again. It was only a few steps of goodness. And these little vines, believe me, they do trip you. I found it easier to just try to plow through them, snapping them, than it is to lift my feet up as far as energy. But sometimes they don't break and they make you stumble. Look way out there. Where is he? There he is. So, I can feel the toll this is taking on me, but it's good exercise. Maybe I'll be better at it tomorrow on the way back. I'll definitely be a little lighter. So there was an obstacle, so I had to walk through this stuff to go around it. And after doing this for so many hours, it's getting hard to lift my legs up to march on that stuff being so elevated. Look at this uprooted tree. Look at the roots. They don't run very deep. It's now 78 degrees. It's a lot warmer than they forecasted. I'm hoping that it's actually 50 degrees tonight. Well, we're done with the woods. Now it's wide open plains, a lot more water. And if we zoom in out there, as far as the eye can see, skeleton forest. Here's the trail conditions, a lot more of the same thing, and look at this. When it goes just like the waves. This is all very salty water. You can't drink any of this. At this point, the trail's getting a little boring. It's the same thing over and over again. And we're just slightly over halfway. There's so many nice birds out here. I could count many dozens of them out here. Okay, I am maybe 3/5 of the way. I'm absolutely exhausted again and stumbling. So before I go back out into an open area, I hung myself up somewhere in the shade. I gotta eat something. I think I'm just out of energy. This is the most strenuous hike I've ever done. All right, just had a 10-minute break and I just ate that, so hopefully that gives me a little bit of energy. I'm gonna leave the banana peel there, but I'm gonna crush this and put it back in my pack. The sun is sure baking and I'm tired again, but I don't want to keep taking breaks because this has already been walking for a long time, 3 hours. Now this looks like it's slightly elevated here, like this was a road way back in the day. But this trail just got a lot worse. You can't even see the trail. That's not the problem. I can tell where it still is, but it's treading through the stuff. That food did not help. I'm really lacking energy. But as soon as I get there and set up my tent, I can binge on food and maybe even go swimming in the ocean. I'm gonna make sure I don't have any food on the way back. Gotta eat it all so this pack is lighter, because I think most of my weight is water right now. I gotta take a break again. I've only been walking 10 minutes, but I gotta stop again. Every part of me is hurting, especially my shoulders, my neck. Amazingly, my back doesn't hurt. My legs hurt, and it's super hot. I'm soaked in sweat. Never trust anybody in Florida when they say it's gonna be cold. They literally warned me, the park rangers, that it was gonna be cold. Oh, I wish. We never got a break from the sun that time, but another wide open area. Thankfully, we have a nice breeze. I'm starting to get a headache from the strain. It's like the strain of my shoulders is starting to make my neck sore, and that soreness is like going through my whole head. It's this heavy pack that's really killing me on this hike. Still say we have another hour and a half just because I'm slowing down so much. At least right here, for the moment, there's not sticky mud. It feels like I'm walking in gravel. I feel like this used to be a road. I see evidence. It feels like I'm on a road. That's what it looks like to me. A long time ago. You can tell the animals out here, all the birds. I've never seen humans before. Because if it's like a local park, they all come up to you expecting food. There's one set of footprints way out here leading out. No footprints leading in whatsoever. And who knows how old those are. They're covered with silt. I don't know how long stuff like that takes to get covered up out here. Okay, it's 1 o'clock, so I've been on the trail now Almost 4 hours. So I had another 2 miles. I just took a really careful look at the map. That is really pretty, that tree. I think I got almost 2 more miles, and in about 1 mile, if you look at the map, there's some kind of canal that I have to cross through. I really hope there's a bridge. I hope there's some easy way across it. There's gotta be. There's gotta be, if this is an actual official trail, which it is. Just no one really uses it. So we'll find out. I'm trying to take a break in the shade right now because I'm getting a bit of a headache. I'm unable to sit down anywhere. There's nothing to sit on. So, a couple minutes, we'll get back walking. Now the trail has turned into this. I can only tell the trail's here by the ground. But gotta plow through a lot of bushes. No wonder this hike is taking so long. There's so much in the way. So this is the woods that was on the map, I guess. Still flooded. Lots of obstacles, but a little bit of shade. Okay, the water's a bit more shallow. Oh, my knees are about to give out going under that. The Spanish moss looks awesome. At least the water's a little more shallow, but I don't think it's going to give us much of a break for long. There's a gigantic redhead woodpecker out here. I think it's the same type we have up north. Must have migrated down here. This is terrible when you're tired. Look at this, so many overs and unders. There's no trail going around it really. And I'm weak and stumbling. I'm gonna have to get under that one now. Somehow. I'm gonna have to go almost flat. I don't know how I'm gonna get under that without. Oh! Still nothing but swamps. I think I'm getting a headache because I'm straining. It's just the weight I'm carrying. What the struggle is. My backpack is a bit heavier than it was during the prison video, just because of how much water I know I'll need out here. Using 4 bottles of water just to get out here. I'm already to the point I'm feeling I should conserve water. A lot of birds I'm scaring away. We're about 3/4 of the way. I'm hoping to get there in an hour. There's monarch butterflies down here too. The big high boots are starting to get white lines. There's also residue on here, on the camera screen. It's salt I'm splashing up, and it's building up on my boots. Splashes and dries. And look at the trail now. Look at this. Oh, come on. It looks like it comes through this way. Oh, there's a sign. This trail has been very easy as far as following it. It's been very pleasant as far as you can tell that the trail is here, despite how few people use it. And that being said, I'm guessing this is the canal, right? That looks so cool. Look at that. Oh, wow. I'm guessing this is the canal. It's not a bridge, but there's sandbags and stuff. I'm assuming this is the canal. So they warned me that this trail has no markers or anything. I know a sign doesn't count as a marker, but there's dominant trails and it's been easy to follow. I'm just using my maps to see how far along I am. And this is a nice shady spot. Maybe I'll stop for a little bit right here, hang my backpack up somewhere, and I can sit somewhere, I think. Yeah, I'll go back there and sit on a sandbag. Continuing. This is interesting. Look at all these like rhizomes coming up everywhere. Becoming kind of dense. The water here is actually trickling. Ouch. The mud is getting a lot thicker. Look at that. That's what makes this hike so tiring. You have to use so much strength to lift your feet back out of this sticky mud. Just took another good 10-minute break in the shade. And we're getting close. I feel like we're getting close. The map, it looks like it. There's no real obstacles, it seems, other than these slightly overgrown areas. We pissed off a very angry mama bird. I think there's a nest somewhere in this grouping of trees. The bird was squawking very angrily, and now it's up in a tree somewhere, waiting for me to leave. Look at this, everyone coming back out of the trees. Very flooded. No human footprints. All I see is prints from the birds. Don't see coyote tracks, nothing like that anymore. Why would they come out here? There's no fresh water for such a far distance. Yeah, looks like I could walk literally anywhere out here. It's not deep. Now this is like very sandy mud. I'm hoping the ocean has nicer sand, but we'll see. Up here looks like we have to walk through even more. Unless that's the trail, we'll see. My big toes are starting to hurt really bad. It feels like I'm like trying to peel up the nail on the toe. I guess it's the way I'm walking through this mud. I have felt that before in the past. It should get better by morning though. We don't have that much further to travel. This place is so vast. Just notice how the majority of the way there's nothing here. The trees grow off to the sides. I feel like this had to have been a road at some point. And look at what I'm walking on. It's got a slight silt over it, but look over here. It looks like I'm walking on gravel. Like this was an old access road many, many decades ago. And it's just slowly sunk into the ocean. All the birds have been doing warning calls of danger. I don't think they see many people. Yeah, the water's so shallow out there. I see birds walking around in that. All right, the last maybe fifth of the trail is bad. You can still tell where the trail is, but this stuff is very thick It's tripping me a lot more than it ever has before. The mud in certain areas is a lot deeper. Even though the water's shallow, you're still sinking really deep. But I'm almost there. And I can take a nice long break, slowly set the tent up. By the time I get there, I should have a good 2 or 3 hours before the sun sets. And we are at the bottom of Florida towards the west coast. So it's gonna take forever for the sun to go down over the ocean. So we got time. I keep seeing vultures flying over me too. Black vultures. Maybe they're hoping I drop dead because they're hungry. These plants in the dead trees are really, really pretty. Reminds me of spider plants. Okay, status report. We are about 7/8 of the way. Almost there. The trail now, we can still follow it, but it's very faint. Also, what Google Maps says, the trail is way off of where it actually is. I know this is the trail because where it says the trail is out in the middle of that body of water. Yeah, maybe that could be a trail. The water's shallow. I could walk that. But there is no dominant trail leading to that. It's here. And I believe it because there's a big opening here without trees in the way. So, yeah. I'm just taking another break in the shade. My neck hurts, shoulders, legs are getting sore. Amazingly, the only thing that doesn't hurt is my back. So I'll have a night to rest up and I will probably sleep very well. I should also mention the trail is zigzagging, which is also adding to our arrival time. So in this direction is like the most wilderness you could possibly get in Florida. Got a good, I don't know, 60, 80 miles of swamp before you'd hit anything. And then over here, you got the ocean a couple thousand feet away. More angry birds. So there's a trail there coming in. I'm on this trail. So I guess there's a bunch of different random trails, but it's hard to get lost. You just gotta know where you are and know where the sun is supposed to be. Since we're getting in the afternoon now, the sun means we're walking west. And there's a ton of fish in this 1 inch of water scurrying away from me. Here we go again, straight. As far as the eye can see, I gotta walk. But yet the trail, it's gonna take twice the time because of the zigzaggingness. Okay, the only trail now is doing this. How deep is this? I don't think it's very deep. It's just a matter of where does the trail go? According to the map, the trail's over there a bit. But I guess that makes sense on the way back. Maybe I'll just avoid this zigzaggy thing and follow where the trail shows. But going out, it doesn't line up to that. This was the dominant way. So here, I don't really know what I'm doing. There's a whole bunch, hundreds of something little scurrying around in there. I don't know what it is though. Okay, I'm gonna keep the camera going for a minute. Maybe you can see this on camera twice now as I'm walking. Oh wait, I think it's baby fish coming out of these nests. That's what it is. Thousands of baby fish. Well, I just saw a fish that was like 3 feet long It could barely swim in the shallow water, just jetted past me. It was scary. I didn't know what it was at first. But yeah, there's tens of thousands of baby fish in the water. Guess I'm gonna keep my eyes peeled for a trail. At least this isn't very muddy. It's holding my weight, sort of. Aha, I found it. The sun is so bright. Look at this, right here. Here's the trail. Can barely notice it, but Google Map is spot on to this part. Now we're gonna walk straight to the ocean, and hopefully we have a decent beach. The plants are taller right here, up to my waist, but thankfully it's drying up. Hopefully the water's not elevated from the recent hurricane. I hope we have a decent spot to set up. I'm sure there is, if they made this an official campsite. Look at this area. See this piles of stuff? There's a bottle. This is storm surge comes through here. That's probably when these fish can get out of here. Like that gigantic mama fish that was in there laid eggs. I'm not exaggerating. There is probably millions of fish right there. They're the size of mosquito larvae, and they're hatching everywhere out of these holes in the mud. So I guess the next high water, next storm, they all get to go back to sea. So this is just their breeding grounds. Like that big fish, I don't think it has any way of getting back to the ocean until it floods. Finally, some more dry land. We're almost to the ocean, another 10 minutes maybe. So this was a 5.5 hour hike for me. And people always tell me I hike fast. With all that mud and stuff, the amount of weight I'm carrying, this is twice the hike I thought it was gonna be. It's very strenuous. And this is like the coldest weather you can get for this area. Tomorrow's gonna be colder, but today is still a bit higher than what was forecasted, but definitely this would be torture if I was out here during the summer heat. This is the winter heat. This is what people in Florida call cold, and I'm drenched in sweat. The humidity is so bad. Looks like I gotta walk through this now. You can't say dry land and the trail will do this to you. I think I see it on the other side again. This is really bad mud. Oh my gosh, I'm sinking so deep. And it smells so bad, releasing stinky gas. Oh, this is some of the worst mud yet. Yeah, I am sinking so deep, but I have to cross it. What I'm stirring up smells so bad. And I'm sinking so deep, I just made sure I had a cell phone signal in case I actually get stuck. This is a bad one. So I'd say the majority of the trail has a cell phone signal of some sort. Out here, there's a couple bars. Maybe it'll get better when we get to the edge of the ocean. I'm assuming those signals are coming from the Florida Keys, which are right across the ocean. Or maybe the Everglades Park has a tower. Oh my gosh, it has sunk so deep. Look, there's a few other footprints. Oh my gosh. It's so sticky, it wants to pull my boots off. It hurts because the bottom of the mud is so uneven. Oh my gosh. This is not fun at all with all this weight. I needed this exercise though. I've been getting kind of fat. I don't know if anyone's noticed. 2 weeks ago I was 212 pounds. I want to get back to 180, 170. And this is certainly gonna help me with that. It looks like we have a nice sandy beach, but are we alone? They told me there's no other permits pulled, so I should be alone. Unless someone just pulls up with a boat without a permit. Oh my gosh. At least there's a nice tree. I'm gonna take a break. Gotta get this pack off me. This whole area smells so bad. Finally out. Okay. It looks like normal, nice beach sand, not mud, like I was thinking. Okay, so we can set up anywhere on the beach, although these shells will be pretty sharp. Actually, it might be a little muddy. We'll find out. Yep, I can see a few of the Florida Keys. Is that what that is? Way out there? See some kind of land. I gotta take a break. Let's see. Wow, look at the oysters. What's that? An old camera, maybe? Maybe I'll set up over here in the shade. Yeah, this is not ideal. This is like a mix of mud. It's like the sand is so fine that it's like mud. Okay, I don't see any boats or anything. We're all alone. This is the kind of ocean it looks like gives you like a cleanse of your skin when the waves are bashing around sand and grinding against you. That's what it looks like to me. So they said we can only have fires in the high tide line. What does that mean? It puts your fire out later? Or could I argue that high tide is somewhere in there because it looks like it often floods? I don't know. But this looks like a ideal spot right here to camp under these trees in the shade. All right, beautiful beach. How about a half-hour break before I set anything up? So I'm down to shorts, got those things off. I never flooded them, but look how wet the pants are. That is all sweat. I was sweating so much. The inside of the boots are wet. Hopefully that dries in the sun. Got all this stuff off. I can see now this is probably unnecessary. I don't think we'll encounter a bear around all the salt water. This is a big flashlight. I don't think I needed that. This is my toilet paper. Now I just want to sit down and have a bottle of water. I'm just gonna sit on this boot. It doesn't matter if I get sand on my butt because I'm gonna go swimming after once I get the tent set up. I'm gonna set up right here. Hopefully the seashells don't cut my tent or pop my sleeping bag, which I've never used before. And I don't know how high this tide's gonna get. See how this stuff is green? I'm assuming right now is low tide and it's gonna be up here. So I'll have to walk around for a little bit too and figure out where I'm gonna set up. I just walked down the beach a good couple thousand feet and it's still, the sand here, that's mostly shells. Very sharp on your feet and probably cut up a tent. So I'm gonna set up on top of some of this vegetation back where my stuff is because there's some of that back there. Look at this. What's that? Is that coral? I'm gonna have some snacks to regain some energy, have a drink, just sit down for a while. I forgot I had these, some good blackberries. Just about to open an MRE, which I will still do shortly. These are really good. All right, everyone, so this is where we're gonna try to set the tent up. It's one of the flattest spots. Hopefully that vegetation protects us from the sharp shells so it's not sharp at night when I'm sleeping. It doesn't pop the tent, hopefully. Make holes in it. There's a metal pipe. Looks like more coral. And I don't know, hopefully high tide is where that thing is. Hopefully it doesn't come up here near the tent because there's no high elevation anything here. This is as high as we're gonna get. I don't know what the tide has for us. Over there doesn't look any better, not by much. So we're gonna try setting up here. Hopefully we don't get wet. All right, everyone, we're doing a little better than I thought with water. This tent set up pretty nice. I really like the tent poles. I don't know if that's PVC or what it is, but it went together very nicely. Feels like a high quality tent. I got that on Amazon, and it's a one-man tent, but it is bigger than my other one-man tent. If you've seen the one I used on top of those abandoned military radar towers. It's a lot bigger inside. Like, I think I could fit 2 people in there. I think I could. So, cannot drink these 4 bottles. That's for the trip back. Because today I used 3 bottles to get in here, and I had that little can of pineapple juice. So I gotta save these with my energy drink. And this should be more than enough water for tonight. Those 5 bottles. I have this to eat. I'll probably save that for morning because I'm assuming this one's a little more nutritious than this other one here. So this other one here, these are really cheap ones that you can get on the internet. These are the ones that they give to soldiers, but this is the one here that they will give to like refugees and send to other countries during emergencies. Now these ones here, they have cheaper foods like rice and stuff in them typically, but it's worth it. A case of these things, they come in cases of 12. These ones here are $40 for 12, while these other ones can cost about $140 per box of 12. So yeah, $100 more for a box of 12 of these than these. Now here's the sleeping bag. We got to figure out how this sets up. The wind is not that strong. I put some stakes in the corners, but we're just in sand. I was just able to drive it in with my own fingers. It is doing something, but I want to get all my stuff in there, then we can't blow away. But I want to figure out how this works. It's supposed to be a little air mattress. What the heck? Seriously? Okay, this place is actually looking to be pretty cool now that I've caught my breath and I'm no longer huffing and puffing from the walk. This tent blends in nicely, the green color. I actually bought this one for doing some stealth camps. This is the first time I've ever set it up. I bought it because it blends in pretty nice. And this is helpful walking on this vegetation here because, ouch, this beach hurts. So this thing here, I'll show you how it works. And I was huffing and puffing. I was trying to blow it up by hand because look at this. I didn't realize this was here. Underneath the pillow part of it is you open this and that's how you empty it. It was open the whole time and I was huffing and puffing into this thing because I thought the mechanism wasn't working. But yes, this is actually a good product, a really good product, this sleeping pad here. So here's how the mechanism works. I just use my hands to pump it. It's a hand pump, see this? When you push, like that, you just pump it, but it's completely pressurized, so it's kind of hard to pump it now. You're supposed to use your feet. I didn't want to get it dirty. But this, once I closed the end of it, it pumped up in literally a minute with that thing right there. This is a good product that has that pump right there that's manual, pumped up in literally a minute after 12 minutes of huffing and puffing into it because I thought for some reason that wasn't working. It's because the end was open. But pretty cool product. It's extremely compact compared to a regular pad. This little air mattress is awesome. So here's a look at the instructions just so you can get a picture of what was going on. Extremely good product. I just found another water bottle hidden in my backpack. So we got enough water. And I just found some protein shakes too, so that's more liquids. Great. Now I gotta go get the rest of my stuff. That's right over here. Get this over to the tent. And then I'm gonna see if we can find firewood and make a little fire. That'd be nice for heating up a little bit of food. All right, everything's moved over. Got some heavy things in here, so that's not blowing away. Let me put on a little more sunscreen because I will easily get burned down here in Florida. Then we'll go look for some firewood, see what we got. At the moment, I'm not seeing really anything, but it looks like there's some dead stuff down there I might be able to carry back. Just had 2 more protein shakes, and I finally got my energy levels back, and we've only been here for about less than an hour. So along that whole trail, every time my brain would tell me I had to pee, it was just a couple drops. I guess I was sweating away most of what I was drinking, but we have a real good amount of water, so I'm gonna save at least 5 bottles so I don't have to worry about drinking on the way back tomorrow. So tomorrow my goal is to get everything here buttoned up by noon so we can make it back to the parking lot. That gives me a solid 6 hours to get back to the parking lot, and even if we needed more, I got a bunch of headlamps that we're not going to use up tonight. I wonder if there'll be a nice sunset. It's blinding right now, it's so bright. Maybe go swimming in a little bit. You might notice that this tent is a little bit different. Material's a little thicker on it. It has a vent on the top. See that up there? I bought this one because I thought it would be better for colder weather, but I've yet to use it for that. Yep, the tide is already starting to come in. We're losing our little beach. I see why people usually get permits to come here by boat. It's a lot easier whether you're paddling, because this isn't very choppy. You could come out here in a canoe pretty easily. But yeah, I understand now why I'm the only person to actually backpack out here. Obviously with the footprints, again, I don't know how long it takes for those footprints in the mud to disappear, but I understand why most people wouldn't want to carry a heavy backpack out here now. That was a very strenuous trip. But let's say I was out here a couple days, it's pretty nice. Private beach, no one else wants to come out here. I like that. Well, the tide's already starting to come in. Let's see if we can get some firewood back. Here's a battery. This beach has a bunch of broken glass that hasn't been worn down by the ocean yet. That's probably a camper that left it here. I know in Florida they intentionally bring ships out and dump glass bottles so that tourists can collect the sea glass that shows up on the beach that's not sharp. It's nice and worn down on the edges. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's where the glass comes from in the first place. Ocean helps break it back down again. Okay, I just made one trip. That's what these marks are. Dragging back sticks. Found a lot of dead stuff stuck to that little island there. Now it looks like over here might be another area of good pickings. Let's see. Everything seems to be like intertwined. It's actually harder than it looks to collect pieces. Oh, come on. I walked out this far and you're finding things like that? I don't even find that on the public beaches down here. Look at it. Everywhere. It's not sea glass, those are fresh breaks. And it's all over the place. It's hard to get out here, but it's quite relaxing when you are out here. And if this is considered cold weather for southern Florida, awesome. Always super hot. Ooh, look at that big crab. That's like the one we saw on the way in today. Look how beautiful that is, the blue crab. Seagull must have done this to it. Because seagulls will actually pick these guys up, fly way up and drop it. That's how they crack the shells open sometimes. With all this muddy sand, all these holes where there's shells, I bet you could find some pretty good clams and stuff. Like, I don't know, if this was an extended camping trip, we could create with a pot, we could use aluminum foil, we could make a dripper and purify some water. Leave all the salt behind. Ooh, a penny. I bet there's lots of crabs that would be pretty easy to catch around here, especially at night is when they walk the beach. Low tide at night is when you can find crabs out and about walking. And that would make a good meal if we had a pot to boil them up in. Or you could roast them over the fire, I guess. And the amount of clams and oysters, bet we could find some of those. All right, we're back to camp. Firewood search didn't go very well. There's not that much driftwood around here. I only got a couple little bundles. I don't even know if you could call it that. I dragged back some stuff that I will probably break up. All right, I just opened up the humanitarian MRE. Here it comes with a wet wipe, comes with crushed pepper, a spoon, napkins, salt. What else has it got in there? Let's open that up. Looks like, ooh, it came with matches too. So, veggie barley stew, peas and tomatoes, strawberry jam. This is like the only thing that would really go bad. I've opened 30-year-old MREs. Everything was fine except the vegetable components of it. I mean the fruit components, it always turns black. Everything else is fine. Peanut butter lasts forever. And it came with a toaster pastry. Now, doesn't look like, I can't tell yet, but sometimes it's just in the military packaging. But I've opened the military packaging and literally found a Pop-Tart package inside it. And shortbread cookie, vegetable crackers, oatmeal cookie. Pretty good. And these ones they never have heaters in them for your food, the humanitarian ones, while the other one might heat your food up. Uh-oh. So, I put some cardboard underneath here, and I'm starting to break up stuff, making a little fire pit. Because I feel like we'll be able to have a little fire. I'll get it going with one of those flares. But look what happened when I turned over a big piece to drag back. Look what's pouring out of it. And they're very angry. I disturbed a fire ant nest. I've seen a few fire ants since I've been here walking around, but this is a nest that I just uncovered. And over here, when I flipped over this log, there was like a 2-inch cockroach that scurried away. I'm not really worried about the cockroach. I'm worried about these very angry fire ants that are coming out of that log I just dragged over here. So the majority of them are over there, probably very angry, but ooh. I'm just gonna leave that log there, and if we get the fire going good, I'll just throw it on top. There's some good dry kindling like this stuck around the trees. Let's cram that underneath it later. The ants have all gone back inside their log. We'll try to get this going when it gets dark. Look at that, the tide's coming back in. Half the beach that was here when we arrived is gone. I think I overpacked as far as food. I just realized I have these, this. This campsite has another very horrible creature. That is what you call a no-see-um. And they hurt more than a mosquito, and they're so small you can barely see them, and they can fit through screens. It's only 1 bar of signal here. Enough to maybe make a phone call, but as far as internet, you're not going to really load anything. It takes forever. It's not worth it. As far as the weather that's updating on my phone, it thinks I'm in Key Largo, so that must be the closest town. Alright, now who's interested to see what one of these emergency flares do? I've messed around with road flares that burn for like 30 minutes, but these burn for only 3 minutes, so they must be extremely bright, and it says can be seen as far as 27 miles. Well, I'm going to use one of these to maybe try to start a little fire. What do you think? Alright, here we go. It's like lighting a big match. It's got flint. How bright's that going to get? There we go. Smells like fireworks. I've always known road flares that burn for like 30 minutes have been good fire starters, so let's see if this can get us going to a fire that won't go out. Some of these logs are covered in barnacles. It's your turn, fire ants that went back in the log. Oh, there they come. Look at them coming out again, angry. I think it did the trick. Look, that looks to be burning independently. I think this is all gonna burn now. How come the ones they sell for cars go 30 minutes? Well, yeah, I know why, but how come these ones don't go 30 minutes? Why are they so short-lived for the same price? I don't know. I thought they'd be safer because it says handheld, while the other ones for a car aren't. They're meant to be placed down on the road, but these ones still drip molten pieces of what seems like ceramic. All right, we got it going decent now. Going decent. How long will that burn? We'll find out. I disturbed another nest. I broke that piece off and they all started pouring out of it. What about this piece? Can I have this piece? Is anyone hiding under it? Nope. I can have this piece. Trying to keep the fire going. These big pieces I can just put like that and hopefully they'll burn in half. There's a big broken jar. Decent fire. That's going really hot down inside there, so that's going to be definitely going for quite a while. And once it burns some of this stuff in half, I'll be able to throw 2 pieces in there. Good amount. And over here, I keep finding coral everywhere, which is cool. Oh my gosh, another big cockroach to show everyone. Look at that one. Did this guy get himself trapped in there? Look at that. It's another cockroach. Come on out. It's a big cockroach in there. See it? Yeah. Maybe if I poke its face, it'll come out and scurry so everyone can see it. Come on out. Come on out. There you go. Whoa, oh, oh, cockroach. Hid underneath a leaf. Is that another one? Yeah, another cockroach. Look right there. Another one. This place got big cockroaches. They're all an inch or 2 long. And over here on the edge of all the sand that gets kicked in here, look at this. Look at all the coral. Here, all the way over here. That is really cool. Lots of coral. Look at this piece. It's so light too. Cool. A lot of coral all over the place. All right, we got about 2 hours before the sun sets. Been eating a lot. My soreness is kind of going away, so it'll be gone or a lot worse when I wake up. It depends. We'll see. Got some more food in there. Well, I'll be snacking all night because I want to lighten my load a whole bunch. Pepperoni. The fire was able to burn some of those bigger ones in half. Now I just broke them and threw them back in there, so that should combust in a little bit. There's a lot of heat underneath there. We're getting ready for sunset now. Since this is the south coast of Florida, we're looking south right now. We're completely at the bottom of Florida right now. As far south as you can get, except for the Key Islands, which are visible in the distance there. Now, the water will be getting up here either to that was the last high tide where that really green seaweed is, or maybe it'll get up here. Regardless, hopefully it doesn't hit the tent. I don't think it will though. The waves aren't very big. We actually got a decent fire going. That thing is so hot down in there, and those will burn in half. I can flip them in there. That'll go for quite a few hours. What I got here alone And now that the sun's going down, the lighting is beautiful. Look at this. The lighting, and you see that giant barrier of seaweed. That's so cool. It's like a continuous silt filter like they use around construction sites. Look at this, with this nice low lighting. I love how this wraps around. There's all these little coves, teeny peninsulas with trees on them. We're gonna have an awesome sunset in about an hour. Can't wait to see what it looks like with full tide. I don't think it's gonna get all the way full by the time the sun goes down. But we got one really, really bright flashlight. I didn't bring my massive flashlights just because they weigh like 10 pounds each. And I'm gonna try to eat as much of that food as I can, so I only have to bring back some containers that are empty. Crushing all the water bottles so I'm not as poofy on the way back. I don't get it. I was told that I was supposed to have a fire no further than the high tide line. Now, what does that mean? The daily high tide line, like there, where it would be impossible to have a fire at night because of the tide? Or does it mean the end of the beach, which is right there? I'm going to assume that's what it means, since this over here would be impossible, especially with it being wet on the ground. How would I even get it going? Everything's pretty damp around here. It's swimming time, and good thing I brought the Crocs, because I'm definitely wearing these Crocs out swimming. I'm afraid. I'm finding so many broken bottles around here. Definitely wearing these. And I can wash all the sunscreen off, but I'm probably gonna need bug repellent later because there's no seams, and when it gets dark, I bet you there's gonna be a lot of saltwater mosquitoes. Or maybe all those baby fish I saw hatching just back there earlier will help control that. I just did a little bit of research myself on Florida saltwater crocodiles, and yes, they do live in this water, it says. They live around the Keys, they live in these swamps that I went through today, but it says there aren't many of them. There's only estimated to be between 1,500 and 2,000 of them. So that's not much, and attacks between them and humans, it says, are extremely rare. So that's good enough for me. That water's a lot warmer than the air because it's been warm down here leading up to today. Much warmer. So that water feels better than the air. I just don't like how you can't see even in the couple inches of that water. Never mind going way out there. Last week I had a great white shark go within 20 feet of me. It was just curious. And I know attacks between them are also extremely rare. I think they've only killed a dozen people in the past 100 years. Alright everyone, the sun has set. Now I'm just walking around trying to dry off my shorts. I didn't bring any changes. I didn't want to bring too much unnecessary stuff. Over here it looks like somebody left their tent a long time ago. Look how corroded those poles are. And here's the trail where we came in earlier. It's cool how the ocean was able to throw it like this. Just a sheer drop into the swamp. I like it. The sky is nice and pink, and there's our mucky trail back. I got the fire going pretty good while I was time-lapsing that sunset. I've been collecting firewood, and I found 3 more of those batteries on the shore. I don't know what they came from though. I found somebody's tent over here too, buried beneath the sand. Can I find it again? I think it was over here. You see the marks. This is me dragging logs I keep finding. I found one over here. This one over here I thought was too wet for it to really burn. Maybe I should bring it back. The fire's going hot enough that I think it'll get dried out, then catch on fire. There's cockroaches everywhere. But I think they're the good kind. I don't think these are the ones that infest people's houses. These ones are massive. See, I've been just adding stuff to the pile. It's going pretty good. We're almost up to the high tide line. This is where we first came in, and I dumped my stuff right there on the edge. The sky still looks beautiful over there. Yeah. It's not completely dark yet, but I'm gonna have some canned corn. I don't need a spoon. I'm just gonna drain out the juices and just pour the corn in. I love canned corn. Ooh. Pop. All right, everyone, that fire's going good, really. Didn't think it was gonna get that good. It's almost completely dark, and just like I thought, it's now been like a half an hour since the sun set. It's still light. It takes a while to set over the flat ocean. So, the Gulf of Mexico is right over here. Down there are the Keys. Back here's the swamps that I emerged out of. And I'm happy that it's starting to get windy, because those teeny bugs I showed, the no-see-ums, have trouble landing on you. A few of them have been able to land on me, but I know it would be a lot more if there wasn't a breeze. And this isn't being a crackly fire, so I don't care if it's windy. It's not really throwing any sparks. I'm gonna leave all my clothes right here. I'll have to do laundry, and when I go to sleep, I'll just leave my shorts hanging in a tree, and they'll be dry by morning, I bet. I probably brought a little bit more food than I needed, but that's okay. I might not even open the other MRE. I definitely won't eat it all. You see, the sky still looks beautiful. The waves are getting bigger too because of the breeze. As long as it doesn't go into my tent, I'm good. Give it a couple hours, the tide will start going back out too. So this time of year, these are just about the longest days of the year for Florida. But that doesn't say very much. In Florida, there's only a 2-hour difference from the longest day of the year and the shortest day. Up north in my area, there's more like an 8-hour difference. So this time of year, we got about nearly 14 hours of darkness in Florida now. That being said, Not as bad as what we got up north. So it'll be dark until about 7 in the morning. They're able to land on my back a little bit because the wind just kind of slowed down. That's okay though. I plan on going to sleep pretty early. I just want to wait for it to get completely dark because I want to walk around with flashlights and look for crabs because they usually come out this time of day and start walking the beach. Yeah, look at this. Unfrosted toaster pastry, brown sugar. Yep, it's a Pop-Tart. Let's see how it looks. It's extremely crushed. Look at that. Because they vacuum sealed it. Look at that. Almost slipped in the mud. It's a muddy beach. Still pretty bright out. Looks beautiful. That looks beautiful too, and panoramic. Look at that one really bright star up there. It's been there for a bit. As soon as it gets really dark, we'll notice more and more, but there's some lights over there on the islands. Over here is more of the islands. I'm sure once it gets super dark, the sky, we'll see more lights. I'm still able to walk around for a little bit without headlamps. Ooh, some birds just flew away. There's a bunch of birds around. The waves are nice. I better go get my headlamp before I trip. I have a couple of them, and they tend to last about 4 hours apiece, so I don't think I'll need both of them, but I always have that backup on me. I got my headlamp. Tonight's gonna be awesome. The humidity completely went away, and the temperature's dropping where it's a bit chilly, but what's cool is if you walk right up to the water, or even in the water a little bit, like up to your knees, it's a lot warmer. The water is, I'm pretty sure right now, warmer than the air, which is really cool. I was also looking at the map. There's a whole bunch of campgrounds on the most eastern Florida Keys, the ones that the roads don't go to. You'd have to take a boat out there. There's tons and tons of boat campsites. I like the areas where the water's more choppy. I like swimming in the ocean where it has a good amount of waves. I like the East Coast beaches a little bit better. Depends what mood I'm in though. Sometimes the waves are too big and it's too dangerous to go out there. See that right there? That just burned through, so that means I can pick up the end. I can pull in that part a little bit more. And there we go, we broke it. Go ahead, stick that over the fire, burn it in half again. Then we'll have 2 more pieces to throw in there. Anything else burned in half yet? Not quite. But that'll go for at least until I fall asleep. It's time to eat some green beans. I'm so happy that it's a bit breezy because it's keeping those no-see-ums and mosquitoes away from me. See, I'm just sitting right here in these plants and I'm having my crackers with some peanut butter and that jelly. It's nice and warm by the fire. It is getting a bit chilly, but that's perfect. I sleep best when it's chilly. I just want to know how far these waves are going to come in here. Because right now they're about 10 feet from the tent. But that's typical where the green stuff is, I think, is where it's going to stop. Take a look at how hot this can is. Look at that. Glowing. Woo! Alright everyone, I just got out one of my favorite flashlights that I call the Moonbeam. It's pretty bright. Look at that. I think that's the brightest setting. Yep, this is low, higher, higher, higher. Is that the highest? Yes, it was. 1, 2, 3, 4. But what I like about this flashlight, not only is it bright, but if you hold this button, it makes this beam like a searchlight. You can see way, way out there. It's so bright you can even see the humidity in the air, and it's not even that humid. Just particles in the air. Look at that. It's like a lightsaber if you hold it up into the sky. Thing's cool. It's like one of those airport lights. I love it. Super bright. Now, when you're in front of it, people wondered, is that like a magnifying glass? No, it's not really generating heat. But if you put this over a magnifying glass, yes, you absolutely can start a fire with it. I've seen videos of that on the internet. These bright flashlights can start fires with a magnifying glass. I don't know if high tide came yet. It actually might be going back down now. Got a lot of stars. Look at that, the beam through our smoke. Out on the water. You can't see very far at all. And I'm gonna tell you why. You also look across the water and I can see a couple faint lights. Something over there keeps getting bright and shutting off. I'm guessing it's a lighthouse. I can't see any of the cities on the Keys. Actually, way, way in the distance, if I let my eyes adjust, I see a little bit of light pollution in the sky from one of the islands, but I'm not actually seeing lights, except one, which I think is a lighthouse. And that may be because of bigger waves out there, but I'm thinking it's the fog and steam, because the water's warmer than the air. That's what's making all this fog. It's steaming. I don't think these are gonna dry, but it's okay. I'll sweat them up anyways in the morning. Tomorrow's gonna be a lot colder than today, so hopefully, I hope it is, that'll make that walk back a breeze, especially since I am probably gonna lose 20 pounds worth of food and water on the way back. All right, everyone. It's 8 o'clock and the temperature's nice. I'm getting sleepy. I'm gonna try to get some sleep. Let's see how much I get. The sound of the waves is relaxing. Alright, so I just had to put my sweatshirt back on and put my pants back on. It is getting a little chilly out. Good thing I brought the sweatshirt. This is the kind of camping I like. I like that looks like it's actually going to get into the 50s tonight for temperature. It's already down to 62. That's awesome for the Everglades. You can still see the fire outside flickering a little bit, along with the waves. There's a lot of crickets. I hear a lot of crickets out there. The wind really calmed down. The tent was going nuts a little while ago. There's a couple, looks like horseflies in here, but they're not going to bite me in my sleep. There's also something else up there. What's that? Is that a cricket? Look at that. The fire started getting bigger again. Some of the wet logs from earlier must have dried and finally lit. It's getting pretty windy again. And that wind whipping is loud against the tent. What's that? Is that condensation? No, reflection. It's now 2:30 in the morning, and I got a little bit of sleep. Gonna sleep some more. Noticing this. Can you see the shadows of the trees here? The moon is so bright outside. It's the moon you're seeing out there. It's not full, but it's super bright still. And I don't need a flashlight in here to look around either. Good morning, everyone. So, it is about 5:30 now, and I'm gonna stay up now and have some breakfast. It should be light in like an hour. If you look outside, the sky is starting to turn pink. That's the sun that's about to come up, but it's gonna be a good hour or more before we actually see the sun. I can see pretty well out here. I can see the water. The waves have calmed down. I can also tell that the tide is getting low. It's not up here anymore. And look above me. There's the moon. It's only half a moon. There's a lot of stars too. But it's extremely bright out. You can walk around pretty well. Look at that. You can see the sun over there pretty well too. All right, now it's breakfast time. Veggie barley stew. And right here we have, what was that? Peas in tomato? Yep. All right, everyone. I just emerged from the tent. It is 6:20 in the morning. Sun's coming up. Look at that. No dew. This is the first camp I've done where there's no dew on the tent. That means we can put it away early. We don't have to wait for the sun to come out and burn it off. Looking beautiful out. The sun will be up very soon. It's a little chilly out here. Temperature made it down to 52 degrees. It's pretty chilly for the Everglades. I'm shivering a little bit, even with this hoodie, but it's okay. It'll start warming up fast. Today's high temperature says it'll be 70. A little bit colder than yesterday, but remember, yesterday got warmer than they said, so today, that being said, I bet it'll get to 75. How's the fire doing? Is that still hot enough to start up again? Let's feel it. Oh, I still feel heat in there. I wonder, do you see any hot ash? Oh yes, there's a little bit of hot ash in there. I see a little bit of red in there. Will it combust though? I don't know. Let's get all these pieces over here into the middle. It'll probably start smoking, but will it turn on again? Maybe. All right, everyone, the sun is finally up in full. It is now, wow, exactly 7 o'clock. There's no dew on the tent. Every time I go camping up north, there's always dew on the tent. Or this time of year, there'd be frost. I don't know why there isn't. The water's pretty calm today. You can see way out to one of the islands out there. Over here by the sun, you can also see some islands way out there. See it? I think that's the last island you can actually drive to. I think that's Key West, that one. Because the ones directly across I'm looking at on Google Maps don't seem to be there. Look at all the birds that just landed on the beach. Last night when I was walking down the beach, there was a lot of birds just sleeping, standing there like that. It's nice out now. It gets really warm fast as soon as that sun comes out. Almost time to take the jacket off. Looks pretty over here too. I tried. There's no way that fire is gonna start back up, but I'm gonna pack up everything and already had breakfast, got my energy. We'll leave in like an hour or two. Do we have a raven over here? Oh, 2 of them. 3 of them. They want some food. Yeah, that sun's already hot. All right, time to roll up the air mattress. I tried doing it inside, but there's just not enough room to roll it up properly. I gotta bring it out here. All right, everyone. I'm all packed up and it's gonna be a good day. I feel a lot lighter today. I am about 10 water bottles lighter. I got rid of the energy drink, got rid of all the canned food, ate it all. Alrighty, so I'm all packed up. I crushed all the water bottles, was able to get them all into a small bag. And I used one of the MRE bags, that's what my trash can is. Was able to squeeze everything into there. The fire's out. I tried getting it going today, but it's just slightly warm in the center, but nothing's gonna combust there. I tried, and we're good. The only thing we're leaving behind today is a little bit of toilet paper off in the woods. We don't leave anything behind unless it's biodegradable. So, all set up. We got a flat spot there from the tent, That was a really good tent, and I could tell by touching it, it was very high quality compared to the Walmart tents I usually get. That one came from Amazon. I don't remember what it cost, but I bought it because I figured it would be good for winter since it looks very easy to block the small vent on the roof. Most summer tents have an entire wall or the entire roof is a screen with a cover. That one has such a small air vent. I figured it would be good for winter camping. It's also pretty thick, and you saw when I was rolling it up, it was so hard to get the air out of it because it seems like something that would be good for winter camping. So we are about to head out. Right now we're slowly going out to low tide. Well, low tide is not going to happen until about 1 in the afternoon, and it is 7:30. My goal this morning to get out of here was 12. Well, we're leaving right now, 7:30. That being said, I will likely get back to the vehicle at noon, which gives us time to do a couple more boardwalk hikes and stuff in the Everglades Park today before it gets dark. This was really fun today. And this mud is really sticky. I didn't walk over here yet today, but yet I still see some of my footprints in the mud, and that was underwater. Interesting. So, overall, this was a good place to camp. The only thing was, there's a bit of broken glass here, so you definitely want to wear something if you're going in the water. Don't want to walk around here barefoot like I usually do at the beach. And I definitely understand why people choose to take a boat. This is quite the hard hike. I think it was mostly because of the weight. Then there's the extreme humidity yesterday. Temperature was not that bad, honestly. It was the humidity. Look at this. Yeah, great. Step on that. It's even got sea creatures on it. And there was a knife right there in the water. And today we are a lot lighter. It is noticeably lighter, my backpack, because most of my weight coming out here was water. I brought, I think, 16 bottles of water and those 2 canned drinks. Does this knife function? No, it's very, very broken. It got smashed really hard on something. Stick it in that hole. I love watching the birds fly over the water. Look at that. Every time they turn, they become invisible. Their black wings against the blue water. Nice. Now it's time to head back out through the swamp. Today's a lot colder. This morning was a little chilly waking up, but I had my hoodie, so I thought this through well. Now here's the most difficult part of the trail. We'll get it done first. Okay, this is the part I was really worried about getting stuck in yesterday. And if you look right here, underneath my bear spray and stuff, I had to use a zip tie because this kind of broke and got messed up. Look at that. You saw me reeling that up yesterday like fishing line. But it's okay. Until the boots actually get a major leak, I'll keep using them with the zip tie. I don't mind. I always carry lots of zip ties because if anything breaks in the backpack, if any kind of strap breaks, zip ties always come in handy. So I always bring a lot of those camping. Now looking at my footprints yesterday, that'll help me judge other people's footprints. I notice other people's footprints have a lot of algae around them. Mine have no algae in them, but these ones have some in them. So that tells me whoever was here last, walking here, That was probably a good week ago for algae to start growing inside the footprint, because my footprints from yesterday have no growth inside them. And you see all these tiny little things in there swimming around? They're teeny little fish. Mosquito larvae swim a certain way. I saw a lot of saltwater mosquito larvae yesterday. No mosquitoes on the beach. That might be because of the wind. I'm thankful for the wind. It wasn't severe wind, but it was helpful wind, keeping all the annoying bugs away. This morning I woke up and I noticed there was a couple horse flies in the tent. They left me alone though. Who knows, they're probably still in the tent right now, crushed, because I didn't make sure they came out. We got a friend over here, a fishing bird. It's so cool seeing all the birds out here. Super muddy. I remember the trail's like diagonal, so it's over there somewhere where I gotta go. And I remember yesterday going through this very muddy spot. The map was spot on. So I might go ahead and look at the map as I go across. Look at the cloud I'm making. Wow. The wind is blowing the other way, so I don't smell the stinky gases today. Look at my footprints from yesterday. I'm the only footprints that survived that clearly. I see over there someone else's footprints, but they're faint and more filled in. So this must be the trail. Now in like 10 minutes, we're gonna get to where we gotta go around a corner. That's the main trail. This trail that I'm on now only goes to this specific campsite. Now that trail continues another 3 or 4 miles to a couple other campsites. Now that'd be a lot of walking. That would make your day into like an 8-hour trip if you went to a further campsite. There was another closer one called East Clubhouse. All right, here we are. The most difficult part's done, and now we got this trail that we're gonna see if I want to go the way I came or the way the map says, because there's a couple different trails out here that people have made that are all very dominant. Mud is very slippery here, but at least I'm lighter today. My legs are super sore from yesterday, but I will overcome that. My shoulders are sore from yesterday. But this is a good workout. This trail works every part of your body. Beautiful out here. Look at that trail. The water's definitely lower today by a couple of inches for some reason. Seagull over there. I actually got a really good night's sleep. I slept 9 hours. That was a very comfortable air mattress. I had to use earplugs though. I couldn't fall asleep with the waves that close. Here we are back to this body of water. Now the map tells me to walk in the water all the way back, but there's also a trail here. I think I might just walk in the water and stare at the map very carefully. It seems to be a couple different routes. Let's see if we can see any of those angry mama fishes in here today. You notice on the bottom there's a whole bunch of, see these bumps? Well, those seem to be where eggs are hatching. Like if you look down here, every one of these lumps has a crack in the top of it with baby fish pouring out of it. And there's hundreds of them. There's probably millions of little fish that already hatched that we saw yesterday. Perfect area breeding ground, and that's why there's so many birds. They love this. So that's the trail I came from yesterday. So should I go this way today? It's much colder out. I haven't started sweating yet. So that is a gigantic plus today. It's a lot windier, which is awesome. I'm gonna follow the map closely. This right here is where the park ranger may have meant that you need some kind of map or something or you'll get lost. Because there's a dominant trail right there and right there going in, but that's not the official route. The official route seems to be here through the water. So people have made other trails that are more cleared than this. And I don't see any footprints out here. I think most people use the non-official trail because it's dominant and it goes where you want. But this will be faster because we don't have to zigzag, which probably added a whole nother mile yesterday to our walking. I don't know if that plastic pole right there is supposed to be a marker, but it's making a cool noise in the wind. So the map is showing I just stay straight here through the swamp, and right before that ditch, that little canal I showed you yesterday where the sandbags are, we go in the woods right before that. And then the rest of the trail that we were on yesterday is the official trail. There's just a bunch of different routes at this point, and over the years, they don't seem to cut any trees with chainsaws. This is an unmaintained trail, so every time an obstacle blocks the trail, people just go around it. I think that's why the trail is so crooked everywhere. Look down here. Are those fish? I'm not sure, but something is hatching everywhere. I'm assuming they're fish. There's a lot of birds out there sitting in the dead trees. Today is a good day. It does not feel like Florida weather, and that's why I'm enjoying it today. The humidity has lifted. That was my killer yesterday. Humidity yesterday was at 70-something% when we started the hike. Right now, it's only at 50-something%, so it's perfect out. Look what I just picked up. It's a living sea snail. This salt marsh is huge. This is gonna take a while. We're not even halfway through, but we're going in a straight line through about 8 inches of water. That's a lot better than going through there, tripping on all those roots and zigzagging for twice the time. Now we've reached a barrier, but I see a little cut the trail. Then we got to walk across this whole next thing as far as the eye can see, and even beyond that. It's just like if you're driving a vehicle through mud or water. You're gonna notice the RPM on the engine is a lot higher than if you're just on a regular road. Same with just walking. You're using a lot more energy because of the sticky mud and water. Everything is drag that I'm walking through. So that's why this is such a good workout. So in here, the deepest water is maybe a foot, but on average it's like 8 inches. This area is so flat. The water is basically the same everywhere. In here it has that U shape again like yesterday. You'll fall down if your feet aren't literally one in front of the other. You can't walk normal side by side. Oh, we found another one. That one's dead though. So now we're looking for the way out. And I think it's gonna be right there, this little channel going in. The map is telling me to get out, and it might not be the most dominant trail, but it's the official trail, and the map is, I'm realizing, very accurate for that. So let me look at the map. No, that is not it. It's further up, but it's coming up. We're about maybe an eighth of the way back. We haven't reached the challenging parts yet. Okay, on the map I'm just seeing green, so that's what this is. I guess we stay in the water for quite a while. Okay, I'm coming through this body of water now. There's a trail. That might be where I was yesterday. If anyone else attempts this trail themselves, I would not recommend that because it's a lot of zigzags and tripping over roots. It's through here, the best route. Because I'm assuming these are my footprints. The tread looks very similar, so yeah, this must be me. Must be me that walked through this area yesterday. We've just run out of trail. Now we are going into the bushes, and within 10 minutes we should hit the Slage Ditch, that canal thing. That's definitely human-made, you can tell. So that's just more evidence that I do think this used to be a road way back in the day, before some hurricanes caused erosion, when this area wasn't as sunken into the ocean. Yeah, there's my footprints. That's a dead giveaway. And I can follow my footprints the majority of the way, except in the areas where it's always murky. Back to the part of the trail where lots of things to trip on. Also pretty overgrown. You gotta plow through a lot of trees. Not a big deal. There's nothing sharp. I'm just worried about the spiders. But spiders are always trying to avoid you. They'd rather not bite you. They'd rather not waste their venom on you, which takes some energy to gain back. But every now and then, they just feel unsafe, especially if they're scared if you just walk through their web. Okay, we're getting somewhere. I took a break here yesterday when it was extremely hot. I remember I even hung my backpack up on that little bump right there. And I think this is the tree where that angry mama bird was. Maybe we'll see her again. That bird was not happy that I was hanging out there. But it is awesome right now. Temperatures are up to 58 degrees, and that is incredible. That's really cool for the Everglades. I'm so excited. But I'm still starting to work up a sweat. There's so many bird footprints in here that my prints are covered up. My legs are starting to get tired. They're getting ready to give out. My brain remembers the trail enough to know that as soon as I get back in these trees, that's where that ditch canal is. Yeah. Today I'm not sweating much, I'm not out of breath, but my legs haven't recovered from yesterday. Getting sore. And this ditch is only about, it's not even a quarter of the way back. But we have like 10 hours left before it gets dark, so I can take my time and go really slow. These trails really are unpleasant. It's the mud. Just the fact that it's shaped like a bowl makes it really irritating. And a lot of these bushes and vines are tripping hazards, so yeah. Now we're going back into the bush. Yep. Gotta be very careful where you put your feet. I've almost tripped hundreds of times. Alright, here we go through a narrow trail. Not that bad a tree cover. I can't really show myself going through the thick stuff. Just wouldn't work. I feel like everywhere the water's a bit lower today. Okay, here's our way out. Yeah, the water's definitely lower. Yesterday there was water trickling through here into the swamp. Maybe that's because it was high tide, maybe? I'm not sure. Look at all these holes. Are those from crabs? The birds out here making noise keep sounding like human voices. Here's all these sandbags. I wonder why these are here. Because this ditch doesn't seem to be working. It doesn't seem like there's a culvert. Maybe this was an attempt years ago to save whatever road there was. Because I'm not seeing any kind of pipe. But I can tell right here, look, see how the grass is pushed over? There was current rushing in from the ocean. And this just looks amazing. On the map, this is just too straight. This is definitely human-made, this whole ditch, back at some point. My favorite part of the trail. Easiest to walk in these areas. I just stopped to use the bathroom and I heard this tapping sound. Look up here. It's a woodpecker. We're in the woods now for a while, but the trail's still flooded. My legs feel really sore from yesterday too, and they're getting weak. Even branches like this, it's hard to get over for me because my legs, see how high I'm lifting it? Ow. My upper leg muscle is so tense. It's hard for me to lift my legs up even a third of what I can usually do. This is a massive workout of a trail. I should get, if I plan on doing more hikes like this, or if I ever do this one again, which I'm considering, but it's definitely going to be camping out here more than a day so that I have more recovery time. I've seen there's devices online that can easily filter salt water. What do you think of those? There's one that has a hand pump and it uses very high pressure to somehow separate the salt. But I don't know how reliable something like that is. Then I wouldn't have to bring as much water if I'm able to somehow make it. I am doing so much better than I was yesterday. Yesterday, I was sweating. Today I'm doing really, really good on the trail. I love this Spanish moss. Yesterday I climbed over that, which was a struggle because I couldn't get through that easily. And I don't know, maybe I was so out of it yesterday with the heat and humidity that maybe I just overlooked this. It looks like I can just go around it, but went through some of it, then over that, which right now I'm looking at from this direction. Why didn't I just do this yesterday? How did I not see that there was this much easier option? Go through here in the middle. Yep, through under this, over this. Yep. My legs might be tense and I can't really lift them that high, but I have a hell of a lot more energy than yesterday. Here's another one. I'm not dreading this stuff like yesterday. It's just, it's hard to lift my legs over these things today. I'm just really sore. I feel like the Spanish moss would make good toilet paper. It's very soft. Look at this massive straightaway. This is a nice peaceful area. Look at this. Look at the trail. You can tell exactly where the old road used to be. It's so nice out here. Lots of chirping birds. We've made it a little bit more than a quarter of the way back. A lot easier today with more energy. That previous night when I was sleeping at Walmart was a kind of a miserable night with the humidity. I kept having to turn the air conditioning on, so I was only sleeping about an hour here and there. Wasn't a very good night. We're out of the dead forest now, going into a more lively forest, and we're on the old road. We're walking right on the gravel. It's so pleasant. No more sinking in deep mud for the moment. This area, how it's wide open, I bet back in the day there would have been a culvert or something here. Every bit of water I'm walking in is super salty, just like the ocean. So my hands feel sticky. The shorts I used yesterday when swimming, I let them dry with salt on them. That doesn't feel pleasant. I feel blisters, I think, because of that. My big high boots have white salty residue all over them. Everything I got has salt residue on it, including the camera, all the joints in the tripod. Everywhere feels sticky and gross with visible salt on it. You know what I'm planning on doing right here? This is one of the worst spots to walk through, and it looks like somebody else has done this. There's a trail here going in there, so I think I'm gonna walk in the water to the end of this swamp just to avoid this. My legs are tired. It's easier for me to take this little stroll in here than it is to plow through those bushes for the next half a mile. Absolutely, this isn't muddy. This is like solid sand. There's only a couple of inches, and I can walk down here quite a ways and avoid this mess. Made it to the end of the swamp, and here's a trail. I think other people have done this. Could be animal trails though. Okay, we avoided a big mess, and now the trail's actually open enough that you're not tripping over every root. I've been in the sun for a while, but it's still only 9 o'clock. The temperature is not hot yet. So I'm gonna take a little break here under this shady tree, take my backpack off, assuming I can find a nice spot to hang it up, drink one of my bottles of water, because we still got 5 bottles of water, so I can drink as much as I want. We're not gonna run out, I know that now. Let's see. Anywhere nice. Oh my gosh, this is an awesome tree to take a break in. Look at that nice bench. You can sit right there. Can I hang my bag there? Yeah, that's still solid. My tripod is getting creaky from all the salt in the joints. So, let's get this off. I'm not really sore. My legs are a teeny bit, but today, with the lighter backpack, I'm feeling awesome. Let's drink some water. Yeah, that's solid. Awesome spot to have a break. Look at that. My weather thinks I'm in Key Largo, but it's now saying 68 degrees. Now look at this. No, that's not just gravel. That's very much proof there was a road. That's very weathered asphalt. But you try to grab those pieces, they're all stuck together. There's pavement right here from years and years ago. This would be a cool place to drive. Not my vehicle, but if anyone's ever seen those videos of those military trucks that have tracks on the back. I've seen those videos. The whole front of it is armored and they just plow through the little trees on roads like this. I had no issues on this stretch of area, but some people have obviously made a trail to walk through that swamp too. Can't wait until I get back, because I'm gonna go back in the visitor center and ask the rangers how long this road's been abandoned, because I'm very curious to know. We've just reached an area where the water's a bit deeper. It's wide open. There's a few vultures circling around looking for food. Oh, there's another bird way over there too. There's a lot of them if you zoom around. There's a hawk right over there. There's a couple of them around. Okay, I already knew that there was a slight risk that there could be crocodiles in areas like this. I don't think we'll see one because there's not that many, their population, but I did just see a snake. I looked it up. It was black with faint yellow stripes. I think it was a mangrove snake. Mangrove snake, however you pronounce that. It says they're slightly venomous, usually not fatal, but definitely don't want to be near that thing. But just like I've been saying, it wants nothing to do with me, and I don't even know where it went. So that's the good news. Most dangerous things that are out here want nothing to do with you. I still got 4.5 bottles of water. We're coming back with a lot more water than I expected. But today, I'm able to drink as much as I want. I think yesterday I might have been a little dehydrated. Definitely not today. I'm drinking a lot on the way back. It's not hot out, there's no humidity, and we are 3/5 of the way back. So, it's 10 o'clock. I think we'll get there around noon. Here's one of those spiders I kept mentioning yesterday. The red and white spiders. Where is it? I can't get it to focus in on them. It's right there in its web. It's called the spiny or prickly orb weaver spider, and it says they're not poisonous. I have to keep knocking down their webs. We're in that area where there's a lot of them. I got a really good steady pace going, but I stopped in this area to show you something. Can you make that out? The drainage ditch on both sides of the roads is still noticeable. And right here, for a while now, we're high and dry. There seems to be less water than yesterday around this area. And we're almost 3/4 of the way back. So that's good too. Ooh. Squeeze underneath these. I'm also back to the mosquito zone. I have like 10 mosquito bites on my arms. If it starts getting even worse, I gotta get some bug spray on. But I keep sweating it off anyways. That's a nice cactus. We got a lizard over here. Look at that. They're very skittish. I've never caught one despite there being hundreds of them. We're now at that part of the trail where we're gonna be seeing hundreds of lizards, a lot of mosquitoes, and we're getting into that open area where we should start seeing crabs. All right, I'm taking a water break and a sunscreen break. There's not gonna be any more shade really for the rest of the walk, because now we're getting into just wide open plains. Got a helicopter out here. Now, the trail goes right here, But this is one of those areas where you trip a lot. Today I feel a lot more powerful. I don't have a lack of energy today, so I'm plowing through this without much of an issue, unlike yesterday. I'm not tripping as much. But I think I'm gonna go out here because there's a trail. A lot of other people must do this. When I say a lot, I feel like this trail only maybe gets used by one person every couple weeks. And this type of plant might just not grow fast. Like you see out here. Now we're getting close to the parking lot. We're less than a quarter way back. And some people come out here. There was no footprints back there that were recent. But here, they're also not recent because there's algae growing in them. There's maybe half a dozen people in and out. That's it. And this is probably from, I don't know, all summer, the last hurricane. I'm not sure what fixes these footprints, but this channel right here, I'm looking at the map, this goes almost all the way back to the parking lot to avoid that treacherous trail. And you see most people have that idea too. But I don't see my footprints. I'm not one of the ones who did this. Okay, I can already see back to where I gotta go, that radio tower. We'll be back near the visitor center. Look at that. Look at all that sea foam. Got a ton of it. There's a trail going back, and then there's a trail here. I think I'm gonna go back this way because this area now looks more open. Ooh. We're now in the last salt marsh. It doesn't seem like we're getting any closer to that tower, but you see that sign down there? I remember that's when we re-entered the woods for like 10 minutes. So we're like 15, 20 minutes max from getting out of here. Got a bunch of birds up there. We've made it back to the sign. Now the trail's gonna turn into the woods. Yep. That's a trail that does a loop by the shore. Not super long. It came back out. There was another junction over there. And I don't know what that pole is for. Maybe it had a sign saying it was closed or something at some point. But you see up here, go around that corner right into the woods. Finally, into the woods. Only have a 10-minute walk now. This area you can tell floods pretty badly, but the trail is awesome right now because it's about to get back to where we parked. Oh my gosh. This swamp is nice, and there's even some birds in there. Ooh. Wait a sec, what's that? What am I seeing? I see footprints. Oh my gosh. Cool. Wait, is that a flamingo? It's bright pink. Is that a flamingo? I'm not 100% sure, but it's pink and I like it. So we're back. Look at these giant crab holes. I think that's what that is. Yeah, look. There's the gate. All right, everyone. We're back. I'm glad that's over. But today, it was an easy walk back, in my opinion. Yesterday, it was just too hot and humid and too weighed down. It was a good walk today, though. And I would consider doing that trail again. All right, made it back. It's really hot in here, and the truck is covered in bird poops. It looks like they were hanging out on it. It's okay, we'll get it washed later. Now we're gonna go to the visitor center and ask them those couple questions before we head on out of here. Gotta get the air conditioning going too. It was hard to get in the truck. My legs are so sore I couldn't get up very well. It's only reading 73 degrees, but it feels hot to me. Looks like someone's gonna walk the trail a little bit. I don't think they're gonna camp since I'm the only one that has done it this year. All right, we're out of here. Beautiful weather. It's actually a comfortable temperature now in Florida, and looks like nobody camping. All the campsites are empty. Still. Oh, wait, I see one tent over there. Not 100% sure, but those campsites back there look like they have access to the beach. And there's also like hotel rooms here that you can rent. Looks like they have beach access, but it's probably the same type of beach. It's probably a muddy beach. Okay, we're back to the visitor center now. Let's go in here for a little bit. Still not many people. The majority of the vehicles are likely the employees. I love these trees with the Spanish moss. Now let's walk back over there. It's hard to get out of the truck again too, because my legs are sore. I can't step high right now.
So this shows the old roads, right? And then the new road was drawn in at Everglades. So this is the modern road. And so
All right, everyone, so they were able to answer all my questions. So that road's been closed a lot longer than I thought. They said that they did some rearrangements of the main road back in the 1940s, so apparently that's when they rearranged it. The new road doesn't really align much at all where the road used to be. And that was not a flamingo, it was a spoonbill, and that was a mangrove snake out there. They have those. And they said that, yes, potentially there could be crocodiles just about anywhere we went, but typically they'd be in the ocean. It is possible to see them in the ocean, but you want to be more alert for stingrays and sharks, they said out there. So maybe it's a good thing I didn't go swimming that much out there. They said the stingrays like to bury themselves in the silt. So when you go out there, you want to kind of drag your feet, and it lets them know that you're coming so you don't step on one that's under the silt, since you already can't see much of anything. There are actual flamingos around here, like right here. But over there, they said it's possible, but it was likely a spoonbill. So yeah, they're not allowed to use that part as a road anymore. They said you can't take bicycles, but you are allowed to ride a horse out there. They said you might be able to still find other pieces of abandoned road, since the old road is completely different than the new road. They said a lot of the ponds and lakes in the park are actually quarries where they got all the fill to make the roads, because the Everglades doesn't have much elevation, so they had to create quarries to make all these roads. Got some dead jellyfish here. So yeah, they said you can swim anywhere you want here at the park, even by the campgrounds and stuff. But they said it's not advised. There's lots of sharks, lots of stingrays, and around here by the actual buildings, this is the higher concentration of crocodiles. So they're possible where we were, but the higher risk is here of actually encountering one. So they were able to answer all my questions in there, and that's good. So now it's time to get out of here. All right, they told me that there are actually a lot of people that want to do that trail. They said last year they had a very wet, dry season. So the trail just never dried out this year. They said a lot of people typically would be wanting to do that, would be wanting to hike out there. They said usually it's not flooded like that. It would be dried up. So they said that's the reason why you're the only one who's got a permit this year. Most people don't want to walk through water for 5 hours. But they said it should dry up this year. It looks like they're going to have an actual good dry season this year, and more people are probably going to do it. So we got lucky that there wasn't a lot of people. They said yes, there's a possibility of crocodiles on the trail. Mostly want to be there near the ocean. I also asked about in the future, I want to do another trail like that. They have them. They have watery, wet trails like that in freshwater areas where we might be able to see actual alligators. Alligators, there's a much higher population, so there's a very probable chance you're going to encounter some. And they said that the alligators don't really want to mess with people, especially on land. If they're in the tall grass, if they're big enough to cause damage to you, you're probably going to notice them because the grass is going to be pushed over. Any tiny ones aren't really a threat to you, and they won't try to attack you because they know they don't see you as food, the small ones. The big ones will only attack you in the water typically because they know they can do the death roll. They typically won't attack you on dry land, and you'd have to mess with them for anything to happen, basically. So there's not really a risk of going down a wet trail that's grass covered in the fresh water, because you're most likely going to notice them, and they don't really want to hurt you either. So they showed me a nice trail that maybe we'll do some other time in the freshwater areas to go camping. It's a 4.5 mile trail, more maintained. Yeah, they told me that trail, they're not allowed to use power tools or anything to maintain it. People can maintain it with hand saws, hand trimmers, but most people just plow it down. That's why the trail was in decent shape, because on a normal year, a lot of people use it. This year, only a handful of people have walked part of it. Nobody they know of has actually camped down there unless they didn't get a permit. So I'm probably the first one to camp by walking, and it was an unusually wet year, so that's why the trail was in that sort of condition. But I found it interesting that it was wet, and I hope today's video was interesting, everyone. Thanks for watching, and have a great day. I feel energized. Maybe I'll do another walk since we got out of here so early. We made it out of here right before 12. Oh yeah, I forgot. I asked about the abandoned campground, and they said it's not because they don't get enough people. They said they could definitely fill it up. They said that was probably a mistake, and they're probably going to reopen it. They made a new walk-in campground right along the beach that you'll see on the map. They're prioritizing their efforts to that. But in recent years, it's been getting hit by storms. So they're rethinking that. They're probably going to reopen the other abandoned part because it's higher ground. Ooh, I did that trail last year. Snake Bright Trail. Or Snake Bite Trail. Blight Trail, that's how you pronounce it. Snake Blight. I did that trail last year. It's a nice flat trail, interesting. It goes out to an observation deck, but wasn't worth the walk for what you could see, in my opinion. There's a lot of really nice boardwalk trails out here, though, above water, where you see a lot of creatures. Oh, look who we got on the side of the road. It's a pretty big one. Oh, that is really cool. It's an alligator. And look, there's a whirlpool in that culvert. That is pretty cool. I just pulled the truck up so we could be within a few feet of them and still be safe. Look at that whirlpool right there in front of them. Pretty interesting. This alligator likes that whirlpool. We got another alligator. See it over there? This one's huge. It's blending in pretty well. It's like 8 feet long. And it was close to this culvert pipe. There's another whirlpool here. I was afraid he was gonna get sucked in because he was right there, then he started drifting towards it and he could have got sucked in. This one is massive. Wow. That one's like 8 feet. Oh, don't get sucked in. Oh my gosh, don't get sucked in. He's so close to it. Look at that, there's another really nice whirlpool. If this alligator backs up a little bit, he could easily get sucked in, but nope, there he goes, hiding from me in the plants. Then he going over there to hide from me. This water's crystal clear. The water levels are very high here. Even one of the parking lots here is a bit flooded. These pipes are all at capacity. It's amazing. It hasn't rained here in a while, this part of the state, but the water's gushing like crazy. This area is all pushed down. There was probably more gators hanging out around here. Water is so clear, and I bet it's really warm. Too bad you can't go swimming in there. Wouldn't want to do that. Another culvert, but no gator. Oh, lots of fish. Whoa. Another big whirlpool. Another culvert at capacity. But there's no gator hanging out at this one. Really crystal clear water though. I see some birds. It looks like there was a gator sitting here, that flattened down area. What about over here? Anything? It looks like the alligators are always in these areas because you'll notice in the mud there's lots of ruts. Lots of people are pulling over in this area. So there must always be gators, and the tourists always stop to look at them. That person slowed down for no reason. They probably thought I was looking at one, but they'll see some. There's a lot of gators upstream or further down the road at the other pipes. I just turned around. There's a turtle in the road. I passed over it. Now I just want to remove it from the road in the direction it's going. The car behind me also drove over it too. But thankfully no one hit it. It was a box turtle. That thing has a cool shell. It has like a door, it can completely shut itself away. I always try to get the turtles out of the road when I see them. Even if it looks like there's less water on the other side of the road, like in this situation, still it wants to cross the road in that direction, and it's going to, even if you put back on the wrong side of the road. It smells really bad. It's kind of rotten, this dead snake. See the vultures? That's why they're here, for this dead snake. Guess what? I was driving, and the vulture in the road picked this thing up to try to fly away with it, and it dropped it on my roof. Yeah, it just dropped it. It hit the hood and went flying up and got left on the roof. I've never had a snake dropped on me before. There is so much more wildlife out here when you come not on tourist season. There's so little traffic in the Everglades that all the animals are out and about. Today's a very cold day for the Everglades, so you got a lot of turtles and things coming out to the road. You got alligators, more than I've ever seen before, near the edge of the road because it's warm on the edge of the road. And it's been chilly weather for them. Hey, look at that. Can you see them? Can you see them out there? There's a couple deer that just ran across the road. You see them walking over there? There's 3 of them. Oh, I just drove over that dead snake. The vulture never came back for it. I wonder why. But maybe you'll get it later. This area I can tell has also had a forest fire at some point, but the vegetation grew back. The fire wasn't that bad. It didn't kill any of the trees. It's natural. I wonder if we'll see any more creatures on our way out of the park. Thinking about coming back here sometime. There's another area I want to go camping, and it is a freshwater area, so we'd probably see a lot of alligators. It's the same type of flooded trail. Look at this pit. That looks kind of interesting. It's like a cave. It's hollow underneath, all around it too. I had to step out for a minute to see how deep this is. Not that deep. There's a bunch of little fish trapped in it. Or maybe there's an underground way out. I don't know. It's not that deep though. It only looks like maybe 4 feet, the water in there. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's like a whole little cave. Look underneath there. I wonder if it's even hollow under where I just parked or under the road. Cool. Where I'm standing too is hollow underneath. This is a cool pit. I do wonder how far underneath that goes. It looks like it goes for a bit. Oh, we got another really big gator at another culvert pipe. They love these areas. The water's so crystal clear and full of fish. Look at that guy. That's another massive one. Not quite as big as the other, maybe 7 feet. And it's a big one. The alligators love culverts. Look how the grass is all pushed over. This culvert was really raging recently. I always have to turn around for turtles. Is this guy alive? Board with nails on it there. Let's see. Not even a turtle, it's a piece of wood. Look at that tractor pulling all those wagons of plants. That's kind of cool. There's another alligator. Right now we're driving through the Big Cypress National Reserve. Look at that. Cute. Yeah, so this is a nice scenic dirt road, but it's very, very dusty. Good thing there's not too many cars on it. But there's a lot of gators. Oh, here's another one. Wow, that one's huge. And look at the fish around it. That one's another maybe 7-footer. Not as big as that one. Yeah, there's so many fish over here too. Look at that. So many fish. Ooh, look at that. And over here, there's thousands of tiny little fish. Look at those. So many creatures here on this road. It's awesome. That is one. Whoa. Oh, whoa, that one scared me. I didn't realize there was another one right there. Wow. That one is massive though. Look at the amount of, there's thousands and thousands of fish around it. So this one's maybe 4 feet. And that's a monster right there. Huge. No one's coming. Look at the other side. It's a bird. Really fast current too. I can't imagine how many I must be missing in the woods because they camouflage themselves so well. This road is, it takes maybe an hour to drive down it, and both sides of the road the entire way are flooded like this with cypress trees. Ooh, I didn't realize that other bird was there too. Take a look at this gigantic 7-foot alligator. This thing is huge, and it's got thousands of fish around it. Take a look at this gigantic 7-foot alligator. It's got so many fish around it.